love these things.
Me too.
Oh, hey!
Hey.
Welcome to Girl Talk. Priorities first.
Cookies.
We're at Bella Domicile, in case you couldn't catch that. You know, what's not to love about Bella Domicile? They
It's
do
delicious here.
Absolutely.
They do great work for your kitchen and bath. They have creative designs and solutions, and they're such nice folks. They have great snacks.
You're going to have to finish the whole open because I'm still working on my cookie.
And they also give back to the community, and that's what we'll be talking about today with Bella Domicile. They are part of Design for a Difference, where they choose a charity and give it a makeover.
It's an amazing event that they really do.
And it's not just Bella Domicile, it is a collaborative event with other designers throughout the city, and it's a countrywide thing too, isn't it?
I believe so,
So anyway, but we're going to learn more about that. It's super exciting. Who doesn't love a makeover, especially when it's going toward a great cause, helping people that are really going to benefit and appreciate that.
And this will kind of be my first experience with Design for a Difference, but I know you guys kind of covered it last year, but it's really like a local extreme home makeover, right?
It is. It's incredible. There's some very talented design folks in the industry that come together, work together, and it's obviously for the greater good. But you know, we've touched on this before, but aesthetics make a big difference in how you feel when you walk into a place. And so when you've got folks in need involved, last year children with Center for Families, it's just really incredible to see the difference that they've been able to make, and they're doing it all for free.
Yeah. I'm so excited to learn more and see.
Speaking of children, if you have children and you're hiring a nanny or maybe some other household employee, we're going to be talking about the nanny tax. If you haven't heard of it and you are thinking about hiring someone to help you inside the home, whether it's cleaning or caregiving, maybe even, I think, yard work.
Yeah, any kind of basically in-home employee is my understanding.
Yeah, you'll need to listen in. We have Nicole Broyle. She's with Broyles and Company CPA there in Middleton, and she's going to tell us about the nanny tax. Kind of important stuff.
Absolutely.
She always breaks it down.
When we come back, though, we're going to be meeting with Tia Lynn. She's with Contours Lingerie. They're on
Mineral Point,
Mineral Point Road. And she was just in New York City showing her.
She's a jet setter.
I was going to say showing her stuff, but that
No, she wasn't showing her stuff.
that doesn't sound right.
We're talking bras with her, so she's going to be talking about her stuff, kind of.
Kind of. Anyway, exciting fashion show. We're really pleased to have her on and very proud of her work. You'll want to meet her, and we'll be right back with that right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are here today at Bella Domicile. We're going to talk about this beautiful little kitchen area in a little bit later on. But first, we're joined by Tia Lynn of Contours. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
And so I know we've said it before, but you are Designer of the Year at Full Figured Fashion Week in New York City. It is such a big deal. We have to bring it up.
It's bragging rights
every
for
single
us.
time.
Did you hear that?
That's why we do.
New York City.
New York City. And so you're just back too from showcasing your collection twice during Fashion Week in New York. Tell us about what it was like to be at Fashion Week.
It was amazing. Each event during the whole week just led up to the fashion shows. So there was, of course, a launch party, and then there were press events to meet the press and media. My favorite time is actually the fitting, where you get to meet the models finally and make sure everything fits properly. And then, of course, there's always a little bit of drama because you have to switch things out, and somebody lost a shoe, and
It wouldn't be the same without some drama.
Right.
See, if it goes smoothly,
Exactly.
then where's the
Yeah.
fun in that? You got to have some little tweaks, right?
yeah. Well, we actually pack 40 pairs of gold pumps.
40.
40 pairs.
Oh my.
Just gold. Just gold. It's always the same. So, you know, I have to figure out who's going to wear what, and
That's
fun.
incredible. I need 40 pairs of gold pumps myself. I think that sounds lovely.
It does.
not a single pair fits me. That's the funny part.
Oh my goodness. So let's talk a little bit about your brand being on the runway with Ashley Stewart, Fit For Me, and Lane Bryant, all huge names, and there's Tia Lynn right next to it. So exciting. So Tia Lynn has got to be the next national brand. We're excited for you. What do you think?
I'm excited too. It's a privilege and an honor to be in the same sentence with those brands, and it was always wonderful to meet the people that are behind them. They're very inspirational. One can only hope, right?
Yeah.
So the brand's been in progress since 2001, so it's been a long journey, and we'll see where it goes. I'm excited to see what's next myself.
But you're so creative and so careful to make things that are comfortable for women too, and that make you feel comfortable in your own body. And I think that is what has brought some of your success, is just being mindful of that, because it's not always about, you know, having it look great on a hanger. It's got to look great on you, and it's got to feel good, and it's got to bring out that confidence, and that's what we're really all looking for in this product.
But back to the show. I think we're all a little excited to live that through you.
Yeah.
We're thinking maybe some of the Victoria's Secret shows, you're talking about models and high heels. Was it like that?
It is everything but the wings. And the other thing that's really different is that for Full Figured Fashion Week, the models range from a size 10 to a size 26. So it really is for the real woman, and there are so many body shapes that we get to showcase on the runway as well, that it's very relatable for the everyday person, and that's really where my brand belongs.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what do you do? I know you mentioned this when things go wrong. You know, somebody is missing a shoe, a size isn't fitting.
There's
you know,
39 other pairs if someone's missing a shoe. No, I'm just teasing.
try this pair, try this pair, try this pair. What do you do?
Well, this year the music was split. You know, and so that was
And
a
I'm
little
guessing
bit
it's
funny.
coordinated to the music.
Well, music is music.
Sure.
You know, you just go on. It was kind of funny. And my things ended up going down the music for Fit For Me, which was I Am a Cheerleader. Not really what I imagined. However, the crowd, they sang along with it. And it was really kind of fun.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Way to roll with it.
Oh, you
You
have
know? And we're running out of time, but where can people find you if they want to come check you out?
Most definitely, everything is at Contours Lingerie, and you can find it at tialin.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today, Tia. Always a pleasure, and always great to have you on Girl Talk.
Thank you.
We're at Bella Domicile, and we'll be back with more talking about this beautiful kitchen behind us right after this. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming on site at Bella Domicile in Fitchburg. And later on, we will chat with the folks here. They're giving back to the community, and we'll see and learn how they're doing that. But moving on, parents, we know that it's hard sometimes when it comes to hiring a caregiver. There's a lot to think about, including taxes. And unless you're a tax expert, you probably have a lot of questions. So here to help us today is Nicole Broyles. She's with Broyles & Company CPAs. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So hiring a nanny, there's a thing called the nanny tax.
There is.
Tell us about it.
It generally refers to the federal taxes associated with having a household employee. And it's called the nanny tax, but it's not necessarily just for nannies. If you have any sort of household employee, if you have a maid coming in, if you have a full-time gardener, if you have an aging parent who you have healthcare workers coming in, health aides, maybe someone staying in the home, you know, for the majority of the day while you're at work to care for your parent, that are all subject to the nanny tax. And that is Social Security and Medicare taxes at a minimum that you're required to withhold from the employee, from the individual providing the service, as well as what you have to pay.
As the employer.
Exactly, right. And
So how does that actually get paid then? Who pays the nanny tax and when?
you pay it as part of your individual income tax return.
Okay.
And you withhold it from the employee, the Social Security and the Medicare taxes, and if they elect, they could also have federal and state taxes withheld from their wages if they so chose. So then you would be responsible for remitting those as well. All the federal is paid through your individual income tax return. So you may need to make some estimated tax payments. Then the state side, you actually have to set up a state account with Wisconsin Department of Revenue and possibly pay state unemployment tax, depending on the amount of wages that you've paid. The nanny tax kicks in once you pay any individual over $2,000 in a year or $1,000 in a quarter.
Is anyone else's head spinning?
Yes.
Glazing over.
Right, no.
Yes.
But I'm just thinking, it's challenging when let's say you are dealing with an aging parent or, potentially a caregiver with Alzheimer's or something like that. There's probably a lot on your plate already.
Yes.
So all of these details then are probably a little bit daunting.
Yes, it can
Right.
be very overwhelming. And there are some exceptions. For instance, if you have your child who is under 21 caring for younger kids or maybe doing the caregiving for the parent,
Okay.
they're not subject to this nanny tax.
So put your older kids to work.
Interesting. So I know you kind of talked about how it's paid a little bit, and like you said, Jess, it's a lot of information. So is there a place people can go to kind of see the steps to take, or contact you guys,
Certainly,
obviously?
yes. The IRS has a wonderful publication on their website
Okay.
specifically dedicated to household employment taxes. And so it's a great resource for walking you through how it's done and what needs to be filed. There are numerous forms that will have to be filed. If you hire someone, you have to confirm they are eligible to work, and they have to complete an I-9 and provide proof of identity. They have to file a Schedule H as part of your individual tax return to pay those taxes. Then there's the W-2 that you have to submit to the employee at the end of the year, and then submit that to the Social Security Administration. And then, of course, the state's forms. So
Wow.
there's a whole slew.
Yeah, so hearing about this whole slew, I can see how that could be discouraging for some folks to even kind of bother.
Right.
So what are the benefits other than maybe avoiding getting audited down the road?
Well, certainly more the benefit is with the employee. They have then a W-2 that they can use to apply for a loan. They have then potentially eligible for earned income credits. But the benefit for you is that then you're eligible to take the child care credit. If you didn't have proof of payment to that individual, you wouldn't be eligible for that credit. And then the deduction on Wisconsin's return for paying for child care. So there's some benefits for both.
It's not just taxes, it's also credits.
Yes.
So, tax credits, I suppose. So that's good to know. And then what is the due date then? Is this just all part of your regular tax payment?
Yes, due April 15th, along with all your other individual income tax forms and such. It's all paid then. And the state, if you have those requirements for filing, the state unemployment is due on a quarterly basis. So that's
Okay.
actually then due
I was going to say, finally, an easy part. It's just like part of taxes. But no, then you've got the state. Okay, so
Yes.
that's on a quarterly basis.
For unemployment, if you have state withholding that you're taking from their paycheck, then those could be monthly, maybe even quarterly.
Wow. So if you have a household employee, the nanny tax is something you might want to take a look at. Maybe get some help from Nicole over at Broyles and Company CPAs. They're in Middleton. We'll be right back with Girl Talk right after this.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are at Bella Domicile today off of Nesbitt Road here in Madison, and I'm joined now with Abby from Bella, and familiar face that you guys probably recognize, and also Angela, and you're new to Girl Talk today.
I am.
With Floor 360, so thanks for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Now, Abby, I just have to mention too that this kitchen is like fabulous. You know, the dark wood and everything. And I have to point out too, if you saw, if you can see this too, there's actually a steamer. And I know we're not talking about kitchens today, but I just had to point it out because
It's a great feature.
so
'Cause You can
fabulous.
use it as a crock pot, rice, anything that you would use.
Awesome.
We've been distracted by it the whole,
We
the whole
have.
show.
Yeah, it's just so cool. But we're actually talking about something different today. We're talking about how Bella Domicile gives back, and that's with Design for a Difference. And how did that get started? And just tell us a little bit about what it is.
Sure. Floor 360 is proud to be part of the International Design Guild, which is the founder of Design for Difference. It has celebrity backing, such as Mark Burnetz from the Style Network. He was the host
Wow.
of Clean House back in the day.
I loved that show.
And then Jen Bertrand, she's the HGTV Design Star winner. So they really support it and travel around the country. So we are proud to bring it to Madison. So we started last year with a makeover for Center for Families that Bella Domicile's design team was a part of. And this year we're doing another makeover.
What a fabulous way to give back to the community and for different businesses and organizations too to kind of come together. Very cool.
So how it works is you choose an organization, like we said last year was Center for Families, and it gets a, excuse me, a really nice makeover. And so we're wondering, who did you choose for this year's event?
This year it is the Rainbow Project. So they are down on East Washington Avenue, that purple awning. They have planted their roots here 36 years ago, and they've been in that location for 18 years.
Oh, you'd love to support that kind of longevity. And
Absolutely. And
Now-
they've helped over 20,000 individuals, both adults and children.
Wow.
So they've made an amazing impact in healing victims of child abuse, neglect, sexual abuse, and they do an amazing job.
Wow. What an important way to give back and do your part. And with that space in particular, now kind of with that design mindset, what are some challenges you think going into this project?
The biggest challenge is that they do serve both adults and children. So it's really the biggest challenge to just make it promote healing and encourage healing for a child as well as an adult. And so I think everyone needs a different environment to feel that way. So we need to bring them both together in the same space.
How cool, because sometimes you don't think about how an environment can change your mindset and change the way maybe you feel about yourself and the way you see your world.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
I know we were just talking and we're like, well, how are we going to do this wayfinding thing? And we don't want to make it too kiddie for
Right.
like a 65-year-old coming in too. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge.
conversely, even though it's a challenge because you have these different ages, I love also that fact, though, that you're helping such a range of people. Now, Abby, you're with Bella Domicile. How did Bella get involved with Design for a Difference, and what's your role specifically?
Yeah, so 2 years ago we attended the Spring into Design event at 4360, and Mark Burnett's was there kicking it off, and that's how we got part of Center for Families. And we just had a wonderful time last year and seeing the impact that it made, that we knew we wanted to be a part of it again this year. So this year we are doing 2 therapy rooms. Instead of doing a kitchen, we're changing into the more interior design part of it. So we're really excited because we have one clinician that is complete opposite than the other. So we get to do 2 totally different spaces. So we're really excited.
How
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
And now for viewers too who are watching, how can the community get involved with Design for a Difference as well?
Yeah, we're asking the community to help in any way they can, whether it's in-kind donations, you know, if they work for a company that can donate desks, sofas, shelving, anything like that, or monetary too. You can go on the website and donate just a monetary donation, or just come and help with labor part of it. The whole week of the makeover, you know, we only have 1 week, so if they can come paint and do that type of thing, you know, we really just want them to come together.
It's a long process, but it's like an extreme makeover. So we need everyone's help to make it happen.
And who doesn't love an extreme makeover? I think they're always kind of fascinating. And when you had gotten involved, that was kind of the draw to see the actual impact that you were going to have. So if people are interested in getting involved, maybe they could take a look at last year's to see sort of the before and after and better understand the impact. And maybe that would, I don't know, inspire you to get involved if you've been thinking about getting involved in something.
Yeah. So on the website, on the Design for a Different website, you can, there's like 3 buttons, right? You can click monetary, in-kind, or that you want to help with labor. The video for the Rainbow Project is on there, and the Center for Families video from last year is on there as well.
Yep, you can go to floor360.com and click on Design for a Difference.
And you'll be able to see some of those photos and learn more about last year's event to maybe learn more about this year's event as well.
Yep.
Okay. Now, speaking of this year's event and the Extreme Makeover, when is this going to take place? When is the work going to happen, and when is the big reveal?
The work is going to happen the first week in October, and then the big reveal will be October 9th. So we encourage the community to just come together with everything happening in the world. We need unity and healing, and so this is just a great way for people to get back.
Does your work start now? When do you...
It does, yes. We've,
It started a while back. We're a couple months in, and we've had a handful of meetings, but we're really working on the design and now creating our needs lists, where then we can kind of divide and conquer and go out and get all the things that we need to make this happen. So some things we do need to purchase if we can't find donations, so that's why the monetary donations are so great. But so many people, if we ask or we just tell someone about it, they already know about it, and they are so happy to give. And so we hope we find that again this year.
So if people are interested, now is the time, because you're in the
absolutely.
planning stages and you need to know how to budget for things, correct? Okay.
So are there any sneak peeks?
No.
Give us
Ellen.
any tidbits of colors or anything we'll see?
No.
No, we can't. But it's called the Rainbow Project, so it's going to be a lot of color. So it'll be
So
really
there
good.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I had to ask. I had to try.
She had to try.
I
Don't
did.
blame you.
Right? Had to try it. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Again, this is Angela with Floor 360. Thank you so much. And Abby with Bella Domicile. Always a
Thank you
pleasure.
very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for watching Girl Talk. And you can find us next time only on Channel 57.